Oh, snap. It is time for that Q&A. What's happening, everybody? My name is Zee Garcia. Today, Friday, May 10th, Friday. And you're watching the Dice Tower. Good morning to you all. Good morning, Mike Heller. Good morning, Violent Frog. DJ Dan is in the house. Loopy, the inimitable Loopy. James Cartwright. Stormcrow 44. Jason Dunham. All right, folks. Woo! Throw me some questions. I will perhaps answer them. Chad Stilson. What is up, says Chad Stilson. It's Friday. That's what's up. Still got some work I got to do today. I got to record some things. Need to edit and upload some things. Got to get some footage to Mike DeLisio today that I need to do. But, you know, other than that, things are good. All right, folks. Ooh, I have saludos desde Uruguay. That means hello from Uruguay. But you probably figured that out. What did you have for breakfast today? What did I have for breakfast? It is right here. The breakfast of champions. If you're watching this monster, call me. All right. Here we go. Tommy Miller says, who are your favorites to use in Tales to Amaze? This is Unmatched. And my favorite to use in that set would be Golden Bat, which I did not know anything about that character and found out about it through that set. And it is a very cool superhero creation. So my favorite is Golden Bat. Chad Stilson says, do you feel your taste in board games has changed over the years? Let me move this over a little bit right here. Bloop. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. You evolve, you change, and then it's probably something a little more cyclical than not. But yeah, absolutely. I think my taste swings back and forth between being really into Euros, enjoying that very much, and then kind of getting that feeling of, this is getting so repetitive, it's getting so self-cannibalistic. Let me go to the other side and play games with big minis and a lot of, whiz bang kind of stuff. And then I get sick on that side because it's, again, there's so many of these games coming out. They overcomplicate themselves. They keep doing these things which they cannot streamline, by golly. And so I go back to the other camp. That's probably the main movement there. But yeah, these things change, All right, let's see here. What is this one? Add to broadcast. It's very long. Narumaki says, you highly reviewed Hadara and Medieval Academy, both being drafting games and advancing in the field of the player's choice. Between the two comparisons, which you like best from either and why? I'm not sure what you're asking. I think you're asking me which one I like better. And I'll tell you right now, I remember Hadara very well. I don't recall Medieval Academy because it's like there's like 12 games, it seems, called that. Medieval Academy, got it. Okay, yes. So I definitely like Hadara better. Hadara is a more robust game. I would say Medieval Academy is more of an intro game. It's very simple. It's honestly a step or two above like a Sushi Go type game. And yeah, I would actually recommend Sushi Go over Medieval Academy. But if you want something a little bit with more oomph, something a little closer to, say, Seven Wonders, then Hadara is a very good choice for that. Let's see. We've got, what's your favorite two-player game right now? What is my favorite two-player game right now? That's gonna be. I've been enjoying Kinfire Delve. Kinfire Delve is awesome. They've now got 2 releases, with a third coming at some point, and it is super good. And you can mix and match stuff. So it's a 1 baddie and 2 goodies in each box. Is that a thing? 1 baddie, 2 goodies? And you can cross pollinate those things. And when the third set drops, I'm going to be all over it because I really enjoy it. Also, good morning. All right. Oh, it's Mike Hella time. Mike Hella says, question: have you had a chance to play any of the Galactus scenarios in Marvel Zombies? I have not played any of those Galactus scenarios. They seem good. They give me a little bit of that feeling of playing up against Cthulhu in what's that, Death May Die or whatever. But no, I have not. I have not. Jason says, Z, what is your go-to gas station snack purchase? And that would be, my friend, beef jerky. That's interesting. Jason says, when it comes to main games versus their 2-player editions, which one would you prefer to play? The better one of the two. These things change. You know what I mean? Like Splendor versus Splendor Duel or Duet or whatever it's called. The 2-player one is, in my opinion, by far a better game. Seven Wonders Duel. They're both incredibly good. So it depends on the group. I'm good either way there. It depends. I think generally speaking, designers and companies are getting really good at putting out 2-player versions of things, with a few on the horizon I'm excited about. I can't think of right now, but yeah, I would say it really does depend on the kind of just the situation, but I'm not going to shy away from any of these duel and duet type games. Keep them coming. I'm very much enjoying that's becoming a trend. All right. Gary is asking, how long one teach? And I would say half long 2 teach. Bam! DJ Dan is asking, what kind of music do you listen to? Any specific bands or artists? I've not, again, music for me is very cyclical, where I can be into music for a while and then kind of not be as into music. Reading, the same thing happens to me with reading. But music, as far as what I tend to like general rock, alternative, a lot of, 90s and early 2000s type stuff. And then industrial music as well. So just to throw a few things out there, like REM is a band I very much enjoy, and so 80s and 90s there mostly. And I like alternative stuff like Marcy Playground, who's been touring, actually. I would love to see them. I've never been to a concert. I don't know if you knew that. I have never been to a concert. I would love to go see Marcy Playground at some point. And then as far as industrial stuff like Nine Inch Nails, KMFDM, stuff like that. I'm going to move this over here again. Bukata. All right, let's see. Jay Bringas is asking, why do you like Bad Company more than Space Base? Why do I like Bad Company more than Space Base? I just got to play Space Base with, was it an expansion? Why did we play that? We played that live recently. I just played it with Tom recently, and Camilla was in it too. And I enjoyed it. It had been a while since I'd played it, but I think I like Bad Company because it feels a little more grounded to me. It feels a little more thematic to me. I enjoy the things you're doing in it. I can kind of hear the jazzy soundtrack in my head of like da 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 da, and all your little gang of characters running away from the police after the heist, and you're hiring people. It just feels a little more flavorful to me. Whereas Space Base is very much removed. It's like, yeah, it's a drawing of a spaceship. Sure, you needed artwork. That's what that feels like to me. And while I enjoy the gameplay, I really enjoy the gameplay in Bad Company too. You mix those, it's about it checks more boxes. All right. All right. So Mike Hell says, "How goes your playthrough of Oathsworn? I saw your work with the minis, and they were far. It's going well. Another one of those videos, hopefully, should be coming out soon. So if you saw the first video that Camilla and I put out, don't give up on that. We've got more content coming for that. We've been playing the game. We've been taking notes, and it's gonna keep going. Okay." We've had a bunch of cool surprises. I don't want to spoil anything here, but yeah, we're going to be coming out with more videos, and we're talking spoilers. We're talking about what's been happening. So we're going to share that with you, hopefully, like I said, soon. But yeah, the playthroughs of it have been going very well. It's a big one. It's a big one. I have not seen that come through here, Mike. This is the re-implementation of the Tigris and Euphrates follow-up, right? Nope, hasn't come in, bud. Chad is asking, did you have a chance to play Arcs at one of the cons? I have not played it. No. Loopy says, fire, 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 fire. Fried pork rinds, yay or nay? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I am Cuban, and I gotta keep up with some of these things. Okay, like rum, yes, I have to. It's in the contract. Pork rinds, yes. Cigars, like big ridiculous cigars, that's it's sometimes, but it's like and guayaveras, man. There's a few things I have to do, or they'll take away my Cuban card. They'll be like, no, you're not a real Cuban. Like that. David Bands, hello, says, morning. How do you store your Marvel United content? I have a core box with an insert, very cool insert, that I've done a video for, I think. And in there, I've got the base game and a bunch of locations and a few more people. Baddies and good guys. And then the other stuff, some of the boxes I kept with their insert because it was kind of a hassle to not do that. But a lot of it is bagging the cards and then consolidating a few boxes. So like, the Thor set and the Black Panther set and the Spider-Man set, the original. That's all in like one of those boxes. The minis are thrown in there and the cards are bagged. So, but I'm keeping, it's all in original boxes for it. None of it has a secondary solution for the outer shell. That's pretty much it. Just try to consolidate so I can save some shelf space. When did you feel like you were a professional at reviewing games? Gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I yet feel that way, honestly. Well, maybe more honestly is that it comes and goes. How about that? That feeling comes and goes. But I don't know. I've been doing this for a long time. It's been like 10 years now. So, yeah, I think it comes and goes. KMFDM. Yes, sir. All right. Chad says, with Marvel United being one of your top games, do you feel it's because the simplicity? It's because of the simplicity of the base rules, or the enormous replayability of the expansions, both, or something else? That is a very interesting question. So the theme certainly helps, but I wouldn't say I am a Marvel freak or anything. Certainly not as much as like Tom knows his stuff. It's certainly a combination of quick to play. I can get it on the table and I can teach to someone. If I'm going to teach it to somebody, I can teach fairly quickly and they will get it fairly quickly and fairly easily. I was able to teach Marvel United to my mom, who does not speak English, mind you. And so the 3 or so cards that have text in her deck, I should say. Plus, we might have played openly. I had to tell her, like, that one says this thing. And then I was running the bad guy and whatever. So it's very simple. It's very teachable. And the replayability on top of that, the variety of stuff, because replayability, even out of the box, you have a decent amount of replayability, but, you run the same few people. But that variety is really where it's at, and I think that's a big part of it for me. Sure, the being able to sit down, make up a one paragraph blurb in my head about how like She-Hulk recruited Spider-Man and I don't know, Wolverine to go mount an assault on somebody else because Rhino because of this thing. I don't know, like I do that for myself in my head. And I normally play solitaire 3-handed, which is very easy to run. So I set them up, give them each a little card stand to help me see everything, and I'm off to the races. And I can knock out a game in 35 minutes or so. Feels good to have a game that is so playable. Oh, we did play live. Thank you, Jennifer. Space Base Live play was great. Okay, I honestly did not recall if that had been live. This is interesting. The Aristocrates says or asks, is there a game you don't really like, but you like to teach it? Wow. Is there a game I don't really like, but I like to teach it? That is an interesting question. I don't think so. I'm going to have to think about that because that is, I don't know, it's just one of those things you don't think about, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Any thoughts on the new Fallout series? Yeah, I checked the whole thing out. How about that? I finished the series and I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. It was about what I was hoping for. Yeah, it was good. Lots of fan service in there. Lots of very Fallout-esque things in it. I thought they did about as good a job as you can do with something like that. Tell your own story. Don't rehash stuff from a game. Make sure you're paying enough fan service that those people will be happy, and I was, and that it's fresh enough and its own thing enough that you're not just retreading things. It was solid. Most anticipated release due for this year in Kickstarter or crowdfunding. Gosh, there's a few. I don't know. The Essen's coming up. There's going to be so many games there. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. Unconscious Minds is still to come. I'm looking forward to that. I'd have to look. I have no idea. I am curious what's next. Oh, you know what? That Lord of the Rings duel thing that just got announced. I want to check that out. But I'm going to look up very briefly here what's coming out from my main man, Bruno Catala. Cyclades Legendary Edition, that's still to come? Come on. The other ones, Yeah, there's a few things happening here that I'm excited for. I couldn't tell you right now, but you know what? We just covered in the news yesterday. Was that yesterday? Yeah. We covered a few games I'm excited about just yesterday. DJ's asking, do you rate your games on BGG? Yeah, normally I do. If so, what game was your lowest rated game? Let's find out. Let's take a look here. So I'm going to go to BGG. I have 12 games that I have rated a 1. And a lot of these are very little known things. But I'll tell you, the few I know, the few that I think folks might know are Weapons of Mass Destruction, which is a game from 2004. It's absolute dreck. There is Pirates of the Spanish Main, was that little game that you would pop out the cards and construct. That was like a credit card looking thing. You'd pop out the ships and build a ship and then play with that. I thought it was awful. And then the other one, which is the newest thing on here, how about that? It's from 2019. It's a little card game called 3 Laws of Robotics. And I played it that year in 2019, and it was truly a soul-sucking experience. I gave it a 1. There you go. Are you burned out by roll-in rights? When can we expect an updated top 10 roll-in rights? I don't think I'm burnt out by roll-in rights. I might be a little burnt out by the real by the numbers roll-in rights. I'm talking like the ones that were popular, 4 or 5 years ago that are just literally like a grid with numbers. You roll, pick a die. Everybody else picks one of the leftover ones. You color in a square or you write a number, but that number always must ascend or descend, and it can't be in this column. And if you fill in the corner or you make a line or the ones you've seen over and over and over and over and over again. Those I might be a little bit burnt by because they're very repetitive and cannibalistic upon each other. But if they add even a little interest to that, then I'm a little more, I'm back in. I think as a genre, it is a fun genre. I think some games don't need to be roll-in rights, and they're made roll-in rights, and I don't know how I feel about that. Just make the darn thing, produce it as you would have before this was such a hot button. But generally, I'm still very much enjoying that kind of game. Ba, ba, ba. Dum, 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 dum. All right, there's a Pandemic Legacy question, but I don't want to spoil anything, so I don't want to spoil previous ones with answers for that. Do you think you'll go all in on DC with DC United? I'm getting some of that stuff. I'm super excited. I don't know about all in. I wasn't all in on the last one because I was all in on the first 2 waves, and that's a lot already. So the new one here, this multiverse one, which I'm hoping delivers soon, I'm psyched for that, but I'm not all in on that one. I picked and chose a few things. So I don't know. I'm kind of treating new releases of United as expansions to the stuff I've already got, and therefore I will pick and choose most likely. Okay. Jennifer says, are you looking forward to the Slings and Arrows Unmatched set? What is your favorite Unmatched characters to play? I am very much looking forward to it. I think it's going to be neat, and I've heard good things. I haven't seen it. It hasn't shown up yet. But I've heard good things. I like the whole Shakespeare and some of his creations going at it. As far as favorite characters to play, if I'm not mistaken, correct me here if I'm wrong. Like I said, I'm getting older and I've been doing this a long time, but I think I made a video ranking my favorites. Like my favorite characters to play in Unmatched. So I would implore you to go look at that if indeed I'm not mistaken and I did make that. How behind am I here? Let me see. James Cartwright. Question, will there be a live stream of your next beard shaving? No, sir. Some things the public isn't ready for. The Aristocrates. If you have to keep only 3 favorite box sizes or shapes, what will they be? Ticket to Ride sized, Carcassonne sized, and then those 2-player Cosmos games. Bam. That's all we need. Have you tried playing on Iron with all the expansions? No, that does not sound fun to me. What are your top 2 expansions for that game? I like the Dead Ends one, something and Dead Ends, and then the other one I would say is probably a favorite of mine. Oh gosh, I don't know. Not the towers. Maybe that promo one with the mirrors. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. What is your favorite Uwe Rosenberg game? Babel, maybe? Which is a 2-player card game. Oh, how did you like the Leche de Burra? I'm glad you finally found it. Well, somebody sent that to us as a very nice gift, but also as a joke, I'm guessing, because I'm always talking about donkey milk. And I have no idea where donkey milk as a gag came from, but it was good. It was very tasty candy. Very good stuff. Okay. What real life topic would you like to see as a theme in a board game? Real life topic. I do enjoy real life settings and themes in games. I'm trying to think if there's something specific I haven't seen that I'm so bad at this stuff. I'd like coming up with this stuff, especially on the spot. What real life topic or setting would I like to see in a board game? I don't know. How about some kind of study or research turned into a game would be interesting, like or like space exploration as a theme, or even just like early early NASA studies and research would be interesting. How about that? Again, of course, as soon as I say that, I'm like, oh, that game sounds like it's going to be so complicated. All right, let me see. Here we go. Board Game Animal says, I know you're a big fan of Cards with Powers games. I am. Those trading card game adjacent ones like Radlands or Blue Moon. Yup. Would you say you have a sweet spot for how many cards should be in a game like that? Should be in the game, the entire game? I don't know. How many cards should I have in that? About 30 to 40, I think, is the sweet spot. Especially if you have your own deck, then I think 30 to 40 always feels right. That's what you get in Blue Moon, which I think is 30. That's what you get in Arkham Horror, the card game, in Marvel Champions, 30 to 40. That's about right. You can learn the deck enough, you have enough variety to build, to change it up, to find identity. I think that's partly why I'm not as big a fan of Commander in Magic the Gathering. I think 100 cards is just too many. It's too unreliable. Do you think Oathsworn is better than Gloomhaven? I don't know. I haven't played Gloomhaven enough to answer that question. Da-da-da. Do you miss theater? Sometimes. I especially miss coaching theater. I very much enjoyed directing and coaching theater. Z, do you think you would ever be as cool as Joey? No, I think, these lofty aspirations are not for mere mortals. So, no, I don't think about that. Um, Tom recently released a video proclaiming he's still very much in love with board games even after all this time. What about you, Z? Yeah, absolutely. And Tom and I like different things about games, I want to say. Like, he loves, 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 and I assume he went into this. Discovering new games. Like consuming new games, learning new games. That is a big, big draw. And I enjoy that, not as much as he does. But as far as loving games and enjoying gaming, absolutely. But I think I am also replenished a little more than he would be by playing Old Faithfuls and going back to something I know I love and enjoying that, playing that. Heck, even sometimes just looking at it, pulling out something and looking through its cards, its tokens, its boards. That is life giving to me. So, as far as liking games, though, yes. How am I doing here? Chad says, do you prefer the Vincent Dutrait version or the newer version of the Quest for El Dorado? The newer version is the Vincent Dutrait one, isn't it? And it looks great, but I think they're both good. The Vincent Dutrait one would be my preferred one if I didn't have any of it, but I already have the original and expansions for that, so I'm not going to upgrade because that's a little too ridiculous even for me. So all right, let me see. Did you grow up watching the X-Men animated series? Have you been watching the new 97? I don't know if I would say I grew up watching it, but I certainly remember seeing it when I was much younger. And yes, I have been watching the new 97, but I've only watched like 3 episodes. So please, no spoilers. I have not seen it yet. I am working on it. Okay. This is a loaded question here, Kara. What is the best verb in the roll and write category? Roll and write, flip and write, draw and write, choose and write. I mean, roll and write rolls off the tongue. That's the problem. And it's caught on. We're not changing that. We need to just suck it up and understand that some names of things do not fully describe those things, that they are very much, choices of convenience or perhaps even just hurdles of convenience and deal with it. It's going to stick. Roll and write is going to stick. Does that mean you roll dice and then write something? Not necessarily. Not anymore. But no one's shaking down that tree. It's roll and writes. I think so. So I'm going to stick with it. I'm not going to fight the river on that one. Even though that river killed my uncle. No, it's not true. It's dark. Let's see. Good morning. Good morning. Somebody still saying good morning? The Unmatched ranking is from 2020. Will we get a new one? I should do a new one, honestly. That's a long time ago with how much stuff has come out. So you know what, Jennifer? I'm going to put it on the docket. I don't think I'm going to do like ranking them all again. That's wild. But I'll do a top 7 or something. Have you played Search for Planet X, says Antonio. Yes, I have played, and I like that game quite a bit. Darth Grogu is asking, hey, Z, where do you get your hats? Well, this one came from Life is Good, because I like that brand, and I bought it from their website. Other hats I have found at various other hat offering establishments. Some people have given me hats sometimes. I don't have that many hats, actually. And I just called a couple of them that were getting real raggedy. I had to let go of I was very sad. I had to let go of my Bochum hat. If the German hat, if you know what I'm talking about, then you know. I wore it so much. It's this sort of blue hat with, embroidered letters on the front. It says Bochum on it, however you pronounce that. It was so raggedy. Like the bill of it is exposed now because all the threads are just like, yeah, it's busted. So that's sad. I had to let that one go. I really enjoy the way that hat fit and felt. But I don't really have that many hats. What was the other question? Oh, where does your love of donkeys come from? I don't know. I think I like the word donkey. Feels good in the mouth. It has a nice round mouth feel. That's probably what it is. And the word juice as well. So I put them together, and it's like a feast for my teeth, a tooth feast. All right, let's see. I'm trying to catch up here. That's funny. Are there any games you have gotten rid of, regretted, and have yet to replace because of availability or price? I've definitely gotten rid of games, regretted them, and then either reacquired them or taken them back. That happens. I guess unfortunately, more frequently than I would care to admit. I'm very bad about culling. Um, as far as games I got rid of and then it took a long time to get back or have yet to reacquire, I don't think I'm currently sitting on any that I'm actively regretting. I did get rid of twice. I got rid of Santiago de Cuba, which is this sort of worker placement rondel thing, and it took a while to reacquire until I found a copy I was happy to pay for. So that's happened, and then I also got rid of Vikings. Is that what it's called? The one from Michael Kiesling. I got rid of that and reacquired it also for some money. Those two are the ones that come to mind that I waited on reacquiring because of prices, but I've already done so. Mike says, which game did you borrow from the DT library to play at home that never made its way back to the library? None. I currently do have a couple of games out, but yeah, they're going to make their way back to the library. We write them down on a little board out here if we have something out of the library. But I'm currently sitting on Zombicide 2nd Edition because I have an expansion I need to play, but it's a campaign type expansion, so it's tricky. And I don't have the time right now. It's been difficult to do, but so I'm sitting on Zombicide 2nd Edition right now. I like that game. That game is, for all of its sort of little niggling, stuck in the past issues that I have with it, and if you want to know, you can watch the review. It's a good one. It's a good update to Zombicide. Mike Heller out here suggesting I steal games from the DT library, though. Yeah. Oh, we got a super chat from Alex 7 Inc., I think. And he says, any advice on starting a new game group? Man, advice on starting a new game group. I would say don't bite off more than you can chew to start off. Take it easy. Let it organically grow. Start with a couple of friends. Start with something small. Don't try to begin with something sophisticated or something grand. Just grab a friend or a couple of friends and start playing games. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, how do you write a novel? It's like, well, start writing something. And it doesn't matter if it's good or not, just start somewhere. It doesn't matter if it's exhilarating or not. Get some friends, get some games, play some stuff, and then either you or those people might be like, oh, I have somebody who I know who I could invite, and it's going to develop organically into something wonderful if you keep at it. I was talking about this, by the way, just now. Advice on starting a new game group. Sorry, I forgot to put that up. Okay, what is your favorite thing to do at conventions when you have free time, says David. Favorite thing to do at conventions when I have free time? I honestly I guess I would say two things. One, downtime and recharging. I need that a decent amount. I'm something of an introvert, I would say, probably more than people might assume. So I need that recharge time. And then the other thing I like to do is actually just walk around the floor where people are gaming and see what everybody's playing. And just, like, say hi to folks or quip about something or whatever. Just walk around, take it all in. And I often do that on the first day I'm at a convention because like Tom, you were talking about Tom a little while ago, he jumps right in. Like, he shows up, he sets a game down, sets it up, and people flock, but also he's Tom Vassell. I'm not. For me, I take a little ramping up, so I'll walk the floor and look around, say hi to people, and eventually, when I'm kind of ready to go, I'm warmed up, then I'll jump into a game. I hope that answers your question. Donnie S. Snyder says, have you shared if you have an all-time favorite designer or not? I have shared that. My all-time favorite designer is Bruno Catala. How far did you get in Slay the Spire Digital? Not that far. I've played a lot, but it seems like I start a lot too. And then yeah, I am excited for the Slay the Spire 2. I'm not sure. I don't think I personally need such a thing. There's so much that I haven't scratched, probably even the surface on the first one. But that'll be neat to check out what they do in the second one, absolutely. Kids are singing Zee Garcia, Voice of the People, huh? What have we done to the future generation? All right, here we go. Car DJ says, earlier you say you liked real world, real life settings in games. What historical time period or historical event would you like to see as a setting for a board game that hasn't been used? Well, first of all, that hasn't been used, I have no idea. I don't know every game. So for all I know, I say something and people are like, oh, this game and this game and this game and this game. So, but having said that, I'm trying to think. I think often the themes are used that are a little bit older, but I like it when a board game is a period piece, uses a historical setting that is not that far back. And what I mean by this is, like, I know, for example, there's that game coming out from Lucky Duck that's set in New Orleans, and it has kind of a voodoo theme. I forget what it's called. And you can put this bad boy on my upcoming games I really want to check out list, too. But somebody will write down what it is. But it's set in like the 80s or 70s or 80s. I love that. That works for me. That's enough so that the cars look cool and there's no cell phones, I like that period, honestly. I like this past century. Set it somewhere between the 1920s and the 1980s. And skip over World War II because every other game is set in World War II if it's kind of a period piece. Here we go. Let me try to catch up here a little bit. Rio de Janeiro's on my shelf to play and paint next to. Yes, sir. That is correct. That's what I'm talking about. About how many games do you have in your personal collection? It would be about 500. 480, 500, something like that. I'm going through these a little quicker. What's your favorite event to attend with the Dice Tower? Monique, I'm guessing. What is my favorite to attend with the Dice Tower? It may be Essen Spiel might be my favorite. Or the Cruise. Cruise is good. Marvel Zombicide or Deceased? I haven't played Deceased really yet. I got a little demo of it. So I'll say Zombicide for now. Marvel. How did you imagine you would use your drama degree before finding your way to the Dice Tower? Well, I used it to act, and then I used it to teach theater. That's, I guess, what I imagined. All right. What do you think about the revival of collectible card games? Yeah, I think it's good. Again, it's things coming out. If you don't like that, if you're like, oh, I hate that trading card games are available again, unless they affect the hobby in some way that has repercussions, it shouldn't really affect you or me, right? It's like, okay, well, this game's available. I don't care. If I don't care, then I'm gonna overlook it. But I'm glad that there is some interest in and some interesting things happening in that realm. I think the new Star Wars one is very good. I still think Lorcana is very interesting. And yes, you revive anything like this, and people will smell the chum in the water, they will smell the money, and they'll rush in again. It'll be interesting if we have a repeat of what happened with collectible card games in the 90s, if everybody sort of wants to start one and the bubble implodes. But as of right now, I think it's nice. I think it's nice to have a couple of new ones. All right, let me see. Dark Quarter is what I'm talking about. Yes, that is correct. Thank you, Kara. Any chance you'll be heading to Origins this year? I don't think so. No. Yeah, caught up. Oh, snap. Thor Axion says, what are some of your favorite Res Arcana cards or strategies? Man, I don't think I could get that specific about Res Arcana. I don't know. No, I got nothing for you. I will say I like the new expansion to it, the second expansion to it. I think what it added was very nice, but I couldn't tell you exactly like, oh, this one guy, I want to be this one wizard, dark wizard with this one card. Maybe if it was in front of me, I could, but I couldn't in a vacuum like this. Sorry. Nikos is asking if I've seen or played the new Heroes of Might and Magic 3 board game. I've seen it. I haven't played it. It's in the room over there. Tom, I want to say, his eyes lit up when that came in because I guess he likes the video game. And I don't know if he's played it, but that one, I don't want to get my fingers bit. So I left it alone. What else? Oh man, Chad, do you like to go to yard or garage sales? Oh, you know what? That's another one of those things that I don't really do a whole lot either. And it might be a cultural thing around here, I got to tell you, because we have yard sales, but it's not a big thing around here in Miami or the nearby towns. I don't think yard sales are as prevalent as I imagine they are up north or out west. It's one of those things I definitely like the idea of a kind of lazy Saturday morning driving around hitting up yard sales, but I haven't done it. I think I have a romanticized idea of something like that in my head. Um, let's see. Will Tuck here says, passed up my question for an I don't know answer. I see ya. What was the question? I am so curious now what Will Tuck said. Will Tuck. Here we go. Okay. Any new video types in the works? I'd love to see publisher profiles and interviews, for example. Huh. Any new video types in the works? There's actually a video coming out, next week that is kind of a different thing on a top 10. Something Tom's going to do with a couple of people in here. And it'll be more of I don't want to spoil it. I don't think he cares. But it's not quite a top 10 with 3 people. It'll be more of a top 10 with responses to that top 10. As far as publisher profiles and interviews, I think Tom used to do a lot of interviews with folks, and he's moved away from that. I don't think they get a lot of interest, honestly. Very few people want to watch that stuff, it seems. But we did start doing just yesterday. Yesterday, right? Yeah. We did start doing top threes in Smorgasbord. We're going to be doing designers. So we're going to sprinkle in designers. And just yesterday, we did top three Knizia games. And we're going to continue doing that. Not every week is going to be a top three X designer, but they're going to be featured. There you go, Will Tuck. Don't be angry. Will Tuck is behaving like it's Tuesday when it's Friday. It's all right. Favorite ornament or piece of artwork in the Dice Tower headquarters? What do I like? There's a few things. There's that sign that Katya made with all the game pieces, you know. She's the one who makes those calendars and that imagery with sort of meeples and game bits and stuff. And she made one that says Dice Tower. It's very cool. It's around somewhere. What else is cool around here? I like that hammer, the wooden hammer that Tom has, that tremendous thing from Wormwood, I think it is. Both of those definitely stand out. There's a lot of bric-a-brac, let's say, around here. Favorite apples to apples type game? I don't know. I like apples to apples. Maybe Say Anything is probably my favorite. Any thoughts on the new Oath expansion? We talked about it yesterday a little bit. I have no thoughts on it as of right now. I'll tell you this. It's one of those games that already I was way too intimidated by most of the time. I don't know if I would be interested in an expansion. That sounds scary to me personally. Games taste good. Says, sell me 51st State. Okay. People are pushy today, y'all. Woo. How does it play? Who does it play best with? You mentioned Delve earlier. Are you backing Kinfire Council? I'm going to answer these backwards. Kinfire Council seems to be a very political game. I don't think I'm as interested in that one. I might be proven wrong, and maybe it'll end up being my favorite Kinfire game. But it looks a little more like a wheeling and dealing type game. Not as big a fan of that. And then 51st State, who does it play best with? I don't know. I think people that enjoy cards with powers type games and like some resource management. It is a little puzzly. It is a little long. I think it plays best with 2 or 3 players. With 4, it really is quite a long game, and I don't think the return on that is as interesting. Just having one more person to interact with, I don't think it's worth it. And as far as what the game, you know, what I like about it is the theme, the interacting pieces on the table, not interaction with other players. It's all the connections, the combos, the things you can trigger and do and develop and invest in. And then just that sort of general vibe of post-apocalyptic, weird stuff, decaying stuff. There you go. Games taste good, huh? All right. Is Z your first full name or the first letter of your name or a nickname? It is the first letter of my name and a nickname. Part of the fun of yard sales is the snooping through other people's stuff. Yeah, I could see that. All right, let's see. What are your thoughts on City of Kings? I don't think I've ever played City of Kings. Greetings from England, says Gordon. S. Gordon. Hello, hello. I play most of my board games with my wife. What cooperative games can you recommend that play well at a 2-player count? Well, I just talked about one, Kinfire Delve. It's a little card game. But I think most cooperative games play well at 2 players. Pandemic certainly plays well at 2. I think Marvel United plays well at 2. I think Marvel Champions, if you want something a little crunchier, plays well at 2. I think most of them. There's a couple I would probably avoid, like Last Bastion. Definitely plays better at 4 than at 2. And then there's some co-ops that you kind of want more people around the table. But generally speaking, 2 is good for co-ops, for most co-ops. All right, let's see here. uh, Z, I miss your Target review style. Have you considered bringing it back? No. I think a lot of shakeups here happened, and that was one of the casualties, and I have not thought of bringing it back. Oh, I feel bad about picking on Will Tuck here, but all right, you guys are. I'm glad that you're lighting the mood with your gentle jabs. All right, let's see. Am I looking forward to Death May Die, Cthulhu Death May Die, Season 3 and 4? Is there a Season 4? Oh, technically it's the same thing, right? Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely. We did a live play of this a long time ago, it feels like. And it was super neat. I like everything they've added to it. I gotta get Death May Die back out. It's been a long time since I've played, and I miss that game. That game is so good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Very much so. Am I caught up? No, I'm not. What is the most complicated board game you have ever played with your mom? Maybe Marvel United. That could be it. It's usually excuse me, it's usually very light things. Very light. She's not, really a much of a gamer. That's not her thing whatsoever. With my dad, he's even worse. He's mostly, if I'm going to play a game with him, I think the most complicated game I've ever taught him was Vegas Showdown. Because other than that, it would be fully to sort of humor me if he plays a game. But he and my mother both liked Vegas Showdown, which was wild. It was mind-blowing to me. That they actually were like, we could play that game. But if I'm going to teach him something, it's probably abstract, because he has like 2 rules. And so he would play something abstract. My mom, Marvel United, Vegas Showdown, she's a little more flexible when it comes to that stuff. All right, let's see. Where am I at? Boop, 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 bada, boop, boop. If Joey picks Zuvadas and Roy picks Challengers, what game would you pick? Galaxy Trucker. That's what I'm picking. DJ says, what kind of game would it take to knock out your number 1 favorite game? Man, it's gonna be May. It's gonna be quick playing, lots of variety. Again, replayability is one of those things which is a tricky word to justify, maybe, but variety, a lot of variety, a lot of flavor, a lot of enjoyment, highs and lows. Marvel United has a lot of that stuff, it does. And 51st State has a lot of that stuff. It's longer. It is not as mass appeal, 51st State. So I can't teach it to as many people, which I don't really care about. It doesn't have to be for everybody. It's for me. But yeah, I would have to have a lot of those things. And then cards with powers is probably a must, honestly, for a game that's my number 1 game of all time. It's going to need some cards with abilities that I love it when a little piece of cardboard with some writing on it represents a bigger concept, a bigger idea. Just one of those things that thrills me. All right, let's see. What about 51st State? Do you think the Zee Garcia card is a bit broken? It's not. I've heard this a little bit, that if you don't know, there's a card in the latest printing of 51st State that features my likeness and my name too, I guess, right? It's not the first time I've heard that the card is a little OP. So do I think it's broken? No. How dare you? You watch your mouth, okay? If you put Zee Garcia on a card, you get Zee Garcia on a card. Is that going to wreck your meta? Maybe, okay? I'm sorry. I cannot be contained within your little cardboard square. That's the risk you run. Man, you know who I miss? Will Tuck. Where's Will Tuck? Did he leave? Did he really leave? Any newer games you've played that are language independent? I'm always on the lookout for games I can play with my mom and have not have to translate everything. Oh, I'm thinking so much. Draft and Ride Records, I think, is language independent. You can explain the couple of goals on the side. So that's a good one. What else? What have you reviewed lately? I think it's not been too many lately. I got to be honest with you. Jason says, Z, what's your favorite Friday end of week treat? I think being able to stay up late on Friday and maybe play a video game or something. Not worried about like the next morning kind of vibe, you know, like, and not to say I get to stay up late tonight, that I even will. My point being that I could stay up late and play a video game, not worry about like, oh, I'm gonna pay for this tomorrow because I'm old now. That's maybe it. Oh, look at that. Jason nailed it. Zebulon Garcia. How did you know? This is my favorite. It's Zee Garcia. The extra E was too much. That might be my favorite. All right, let's see. Sky Team works at 2. Yeah, it only works at 2. That's right. Where do you rank Clone Wars Pandemic among all the Pandemic and Pandemic spin-offs? It's a very good one. It's a very good one. I think some of the changes they made to the Pandemic formula in this one were unexpected and well finalized. So it's top third of all the Pandemic games for sure. All right, let me see, folks. How far back am I? Jamaica or Quest for El Dorado? I'm going to go with Jamaica. If you had a new visitor to your home, how fast would they discover your love for board games as soon as they're in the door? Z, oh, where'd it go? Z, if you had to save one solo game, which one would it be? Right now, I'm going to say for Northwood. Who are you most excited for in Unmatched Links and Arrows? I'm going to go with... gosh. I guess Titania and Oberon are in there, right? So I'm going to say them. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up here, folks. All right. I'm skipping some if the answer is just like nothing. Like, what was your last campaign game you finished? I don't know. Campaigns don't often get finished. It's difficult. Any thoughts on Nemesis Retaliation? No, I haven't played it. Would you play Kabuto Sumo with your dad? I doubt he would be interested. That would seem silly to him, I think. Old people love dice, says Nick. You're so... The way you paint with a brush is like... And you're an artist with words, Nick. You're an artist. Post-apocalyptic cards with powers, yes. Okay, let's see. My husband loves the Z promo card in 51st State. That's because he's got good taste. He gets it. Paper Tales. That's a good one for 2 people, yes. All right, I'm catching up here. If Zee Garcia would make an acting appearance in one franchise, what franchise would it be? Are you asking me or are you asking other people? I don't know. Yes? Any of them. I don't care. That's not true. How about anything except Fast and Furious? S. Gordon says, not sure I've heard you talk about 4X games much. Do you enjoy them? And if so, what are a few of your favorites? I don't really enjoy 4X games. They tend to be a little too much for me. I will say I played... If I like it, it's probably beyond abstracted. The new one, that Path of Civilization game, that's gotten some buzz recently, that one I like. So you can put that on the list for me. All right, what sort of video games do you enjoy? Any specifics? Mostly RPGs, Fallout, Skyrim type stuff. What was the last song you played on your phone? I don't know. The last one I remember playing on my phone was that song from Genesis that is called something. What is it? Why am I going down this rabbit hole right now? Why? What was it? The Invisible Touch song from Genesis. And now that's going to be stuck in my head. Thanks. Really love Citadels because 6+ players, cards with powers. Anything you recommend my group try? Oof, man. That's a better BGG question than to ask me, honestly. Because while I very much enjoy cards with powers, Citadels is its own beast. Anything I suggest isn't really what you're looking for, I think. So I'm sorry, Jonathan. All right, let's see. I'm going to try to catch up here. Okay. And I am caught up, and I did not see a return from Tuck. Man. Where is Nip Tuck? All right, folks, that's going to do it for me. Citadel's brought me into the hobby, says Stormcrow. Yeah, it's definitely one of those games, that has to get some credit for bringing a lot of people into this hobby. There's a few of them, certainly Catan and the Ticket to Rides and all of that stuff, but Citadels doesn't often get mentioned in sort of the same breath as Munchkin or whatever, but maybe it should. All right, folks, that's going to do it. I'm going to wrap it up right now. So thank you very much, all of you, for tuning in. We've got Mike's Q&A. I know is coming up at 1 p.m. this afternoon. That's in 2 hours. So make sure you come on back for that. Check him out. And, yeah, obviously stay tuned for everything else we've got going on. My name is Zee Garcia. Thank you all very much for your questions and for hanging out with me. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Take care, folks.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.